Hello, welcome back. This is Miniature Mike. I'm doing another character review and comparison video for you. This one I chose to do was another unique character, Lando Calrissian. There are a few of them in the game, very similar kind of themes between them. Some of them a little bit different though, but pretty fun. Got some pretty fun options in here, and definitely they capture the character from the movie really, really well. So first Lando we'll get into is the original Lando Calrissian from Rebel Storm. Cost 16, 50 HP, 16 defense, 7 attack, and 10 damage. Overall, this guy is not that good. However, when he first came out, he does have really good stats upon release. So gotta keep that in mind. Upon release, nice stats, has double attack, very solid, but definitely the commander effect is bad, and it just falls behind today, of course. So the HP, pretty dang good. 50 HP on 16 is above average. Bad survivability, other than having actually kind of nice defense. You have no powers and abilities, mobility to help you out to excel. Your attack is kind of on par. 7 attack is solid. You're having 10 damage and double attack at this level is also very solid. So nothing kind of jumping out, but very solid overall. Even for today's standards, like I should say, like, you know, up through Masters of the Force, these are good stats for a 16. They just, you know, they're just very solid. Your ability synergy is fine. I mean, you have double attack that pairs well with the 7 attack. That's fine. Not very versatile, and part of that's due to the commander effect kind of holding you down. So the commander effect, it is bad. So Bespin guards, and it's rangeless, but Bespin guards get 2 attack. Bespin guards are already pretty not used at all anyway. They're just like 5. Maybe I'll make a video covering some of those guys at some point, some of those cheap grunts. I've already covered a few grunts, but Bespin guards, I think if I remember correctly, they just have like advantageous cover and that's it. They're just not that good. So it's unfortunate that this commander effect is very specific to them. It makes sense for like the movie situation and the kind of role-playing situation, but for just general like competitive games, it's useless. And because of that, he's bad. Blue Milk kind of dumps on him too with the 337, and this guy's just a Bespin guard commander. And so pros, it's okay-ish at shooting, nice stats. Your cons, your commander effect is very kind of RPG scenario-esque. So that could be fun if you do like a specific like scenario that you build for episode 5. This could be a fun option, but that's kind of where he kind of stops at. So moving on to the next Lando, this is where things get more interesting. So Lando Calrissian, hero of Taanab, cost 23, 60 HP, 18 defense, 9 attack, 10 damage. That's actually some pretty sweet defense and attack on a character even at this cost. So a nice upgrade, still great stats. So this character overall, he's really, really good. Let's jump into why. It kind of reminds me, I'll say, of like a fringe version, sort of Padme Amidala, Queen Amidala, mostly coming down to the commander effect and the mobility. Actually, a lot of things. So the HP is good. So having 60 HP on a 23, very solid. Your survivability on ranged is really good because you have great defense and you have mobility to kind of keep out of harm's way. The melee survivability isn't too bad either, just because you do got those good stats. You can move and shoot. Your attack is awesome. So having 9 attack base is already on the better end, and then most of the time or half the time that'll be 13 attack. That's really good. So big thumbs up for this Lando of LCHOT. Very nice. So max damage is also pretty solid. You probably won't use it too often because you have to, you know, be exposed, not be using mobile, get double, but you do get 13 attack, double attack, 20 damage each, so 40 damage. That's a pretty solid, you know, it doesn't cost too much to be able to do that, which is not bad. So pretty solid overall. Your ability synergy is pretty nice. You do have double, mobile, and opportunist. And opportunist works great with double, with the stats. Mobile's great with the stats that you have. But overall, I think he's more versatile than he is kind of powers working together. Because all of these are kind of good for different situations. And the commander effect overall is awesome. So here you go. So non-unique followers. And the only reason I'm kind of bringing it down a tick is just because of how specific it is. So non-unique followers within 6 squares gain mobile attack. So there are so many options on this guy's fringe, so you can be on any team. There's so many fun options on so many different teams. where you can utilize this special ability. And I'm not worried about the 6 squares because there's mouse droids are a thing now. And so, yeah, kind of like Padme Amidala, where it's just like, I think it's like Republic characters gain mobile attack. In this case, you can use it on so many different teams. That is I think it's a really awesome commander effect. Blue Milk only gave him a 763. I think that might be underselling how helpful and useful this character can be. I think there's just a lot of them around, and I guess other characters are more flashy, so he's not used as much, but that's a really good commander effect. So for Lando score, I gave him a 4. I think he's a great Lando. Hit and run specialist. The pros, kind of like the Queen Amidala Fringe, kind of. Some similarities there. And then great abilities with commander effect that are applicable for many great options. And the cons, nothing really major, honestly. Like, I think that's, there's nothing that really jumps out to me as like a major con. Maybe if he did 20 damage, that'd be better, but like 20 damage base damage might be better, but whatever. Next is Tamtel Skreej. Forgive me on the pronunciation if that was not right. And then the Lando Calrissian. So this is the episode 6, Lando in disguise. Costs 23, 50 HP, 18 defense, 8 attack, 20 damage. So this person is interesting. Awesome abilities, really frustrating HP. So overall, this Lando is good. The HP is terrible. So having 50 HP on a melee character at this level, it's just no good. Like a melee character that costs 23 is gonna probably have like 80 HP typically, and they only have 50 is a bummer. It just is a bummer. So that's too bad, because if this Lando had like maybe 70 HP, I think it would be kind of fun. It would be probably a lot better, more well regarded. Overall, though, the range survivability is good, mostly because you have great defense and you have stealth, so that's going to be helpful. Melee survivability, not there. Your HP is too low. You'll get killed pretty quick. But your attack is pretty good. So you have 8 attack. That's pretty high. And then Opportunist can frequently make that 12. And then your max damage can also be pretty good with double attack, Opportunist, and then maybe even Cleave. So there's opportunity for you to get an extra attack. Potentially get an extra attack if you're in the right situation. It may be in a crowd situation and you can kill some grunts. And so special abilities wise, I think for a 23 melee, these are actually fantastic special abilities. Stealth, that's great, it's going to keep you alive. Opportunist, melee double, also great. That's all really nice to have that. And then having Cleave is a lot of fun too, because you can really do a lot of damage to a lot of different characters. So that is helpful. Ability synergy, I think a lot of these abilities go well together. Maybe not the most versatile, but a solid kind of stealth melee specialist. Blue Milk's pretty low on it though. A 6.08 is actually more on the below average side of things. But I gave it a good score. I do really like these abilities. High defense, solid attack. I just hate that HP. So the pros, great set of special abilities for the cost. Can dish a lot of melee damage, but the cons are the HP is just kind of a big oof in this case. Bounty Hunters is a funny set. And it's funny how this shows up here because a lot of characters and Bounty Hunters have some really cool things going for them, like lots of cool powers, lots of versatility. They have a lot of different power this, power that, and special ability here, can do this. So many different great things going on, but the common theme with Bounty Hunters, the Bounty Hunter characters, is people are just under HP'd. Like literally everybody, all of the Bounty Hunters don't have enough HP. Like IG-88 Bounty Hunter only has like 80, which is the same as Rebel Storm. Bosk only has like 50 or 60, whereas in Dark Times gets like 110 or something. And then that's not it. Kamari Vosa is in this set too. Horrible HP for how much she costs and what she does. And then even Han Solo has 80 HP, but at least Han Solo has evade and things like that and mobile attack. But that's kind of a common theme is with Bounty Hunters, they really went all out. And the Wizards of the Coast was like, we're going to do lots of cool powers, we're going to fill that stat sheet, fill the card up with all sorts of powers, but the HP is going to suffer. And I get it, they're probably trying to do that as a balance to all of these different special abilities. But I think maybe it was a little too harsh for a lot of these characters. So this Lando, kind of cool, like really fun. It's a fringe, so you can put with a lot of situations, but kind of frustrating that the HP is as low as it is, so too bad. Lando Calrissian, Dashing Scoundrel. This is probably the best one, and it's also a very just kind of simple and basic Lando. with like one very special. It's very good hit and run shooter, probably a better hit and run shooter than Lando Calrissian of Hero of Taanab. This one is 18, 50 HP, 17 defense, 8 attack, and 20 damage. So it doesn't cost too much either, actually kind of cheap. It's a pretty great character overall for what it does. So the HP is pretty standard. The range survivability is awesome because you're mobile and you have evade. So you can really just avoid getting hit very well, which is nice. Your melee survivability, it's not great either, but at least you can move and shoot a little bit. Attack is really good, especially with Opportunist helping go 8 to maybe 12. Max damage is also pretty solid. It would be nice if this character had multiple attacks, so that's something you'll have to potentially add. But to be able to do, to do Opportunist and have that 12 attack, 30 damage, that's pretty good. You'll probably be able to land that shot, and there's a lot of ways to add to it. Definitely, since this is Fringe, variety of squads, you can buff this up in so many different ways. So the versatility, pretty solid. The synergy is amazing. All these powers go well together. And then your Lando score overall is awesome. So I think this is probably the best Lando. It's very just straightforward, just a really nice hit and run specialist. It doesn't cost too much. You can kind of slip it into a squad and can be very helpful. So pros, just kind of great out of the box hit and run shooter. And then it's kind of hard to take down with evade and melee attack. But the cons, yeah, maybe could use a little more HP. Would be nice if it had multiple attacks, but because it's Fringe, you can fix that in a lot of different ways. So probably, in my opinion, probably the best Lando Calrissian, and I'll leave it at that. Okay, last but probably kind of sort of least is Lando Calrissian Rebel Leader. So unfortunately, this Lando takes some of the stuff of the other ones, but loses the hit and run ability. So Lando Calrissian Rebel Leader is 34, so by far the most expensive. 70 HP, 17 defense, 8 attack, and then 20 damage. So let's just say the stats, at least the defense and attack, and then to some degree the HP is pretty similar to other ones. Overall, it's good. It's a good character, but a bit underwhelming considering what other options we have for Lando. So your HP is fair. So costing 34, having 70 HP it's fine. It's pretty normal. It's nothing to write home about. The survivability is still solid because you do have evade and you have, nice defense, I guess, but it's not as exciting as it was before now that you lose mobile attack. So, but it is nice. Having evade is always a great thing, don't get me wrong. Your attack in this case is solid. Again, it's the same 8 attack and then plus opportunist to make it 12. Solid stuff. The damage is also pretty solid. You cost more, so you can do double attack with 20 damage and opportunist. That's like 60 damage, 12 attack. That is really good, but a lot of shooters that cost 34 can, they probably already have something similar to that anyway, so it's not like it's as exciting, but it is good. It's still definitely good to mention. Your ability synergy is, these synergize well, like double and opportunist as well with that. It's not the best synergy and not necessarily the most versatile character. It's just kind of a solid, okay, all around with these kind of powers. Your commander effect is fair in my opinion. I think it's kind of a bummer of a commander effect because, so non-unique followers gain squad assault, so it's rangeless, and it is kind of cool in the sense that you can kind of give, any character you want squad assault. So if you have a bunch of different non-unique characters and you have a lot of them, great, they have squad assault now. Squad assault powers are a little frustrating because basically requiring a group of 4 to get squad assault is a little annoying. I'd prefer it to be like 3 or 2. I think that'd be a little bit better potentially, because just as soon as you lose one of those guys, you're done, and it makes it really frustrating. So there are a lot of different characters that can benefit from this commander effect, but it's not the best. It's okay. Definitely, like I said, it has you can pull a use out of it. Just I don't love I don't love what it is. I miss the commander effect, of giving your non-unique followers mobile attack. That's so much better. But whatever. When it comes to Lando, I gave it a 3. It's a solid Lando. It's Masters of the Force. Some Masters of the Force characters really rebounded and were not very good, actually, which is kind of funny after they got a lot of power creep. Some of them are still good at Masters of the Force, but some are not. Overall, like I said, it's good. Blue Milk is kind of on that same level with me. It's a Rebel Commander. And the pros, really good abilities, but kind of awkward since you miss out on the hit and run stuff that Lando typically has. Their cons are, like I said, other Landos are fringe. They're more flexible. He's rebel. Commander effect is it's not bad. It's just kind of it's okay, and then it's a lot more costly than other Landos. So I know I listed a lot of cons there. It's a fine character, and definitely requires a very specific squad to be great, but it is what it is. So I'll leave it at that. Okay, so with that last Lando, let's rank these. So in last place is the OG Lando, unreleased, definitely solid, but obviously falling behind. And then much better than that, Lando Calrissian Rebel Leader, definitely a solid choice and very specific situations. Tamtel Skreej, still kind of like really great special abilities for a melee, but that HP is frustrating, so it kind of gets held back, but it's fine. And then Lando Calrissian, Hero of Taanab, huge gap to go to 371. This guy's really good. I think a little underrated. Like, you could do a lot of fun stuff with that mobile attack on a variety of characters. And it's fringe, so you can put it on any squad. And then Lando Calrissian, Dashing Scoundrel, 397. Just a nice, cheap, out-of-the-box, hard to kill, hit-and-run shooter. A lot of fun. A lot of fun there. And there's a lot you can do to it, too, with whatever squad you choose. Okay, here is this. I'll leave this matrix up here for you to take a look at. Across the board, most of these Landos are typically have opportunist, hit and run sometimes. Very interesting. Some interesting different unique options too, with the melee one in the middle and then the Rebel Leader version. So kind of interesting things here, but I'd say Hero of Taanab and then Lando Calrissian, Dashing Scoundrel. Those are the two you want to go for. So anyways, with all that being said, please like, please subscribe, please comment down below. Love to hear your thoughts on Lando. Which one's your favorite? What do you think about these characters? And just, I am all ears. I'll leave it at that. Till next time, have a good one.